for entrepreneurial women looking for clarity, confidence, and energy to make life's big decisions. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my Facebook Live today. And today I'm going to be talking about why breaks are so important and my 4 favorite tips for taking a break. Now, I want to ask you something. How is the weather where you are? Sounds like a weird question, right? I am sitting here in front of my open window and closed window, and it is pouring with rain. It is an absolutely horrible and disgusting day. And that for me is like, oh great, I can really get some work done. So after I do this live, I have the whole afternoon ahead of me where I'm going to be able to sit down and do some work. And here's my question to you. When you sit down to do work, do you just get so laser focused and sucked in, you just start working and working, and the next thing you know, several hours have passed? Well, I have to say, I used to do this, but I don't do it anymore because it is so important to take a break. Now, let me talk to you about this. First, I'm going to say something that is, I see Brittany's joined us. Hi, Brittany. First thing I'm going to say is slightly controversial, and that is that sometimes it's okay to be stressed. What? It's okay to be stressed? No. Yes, sometimes stress is a good thing, and it can be your friend because it pushes you to do the next thing, to get that deadline done, to work harder and to work faster because you're stressed that you need to get it done. But here's the bit that probably sounds more familiar. If you have too much stress, it can be overwhelming. And if you feel too stressed at work and you're working and you're not stopping, then what ends up happening? The work that you do ends up being of less quality and you're less productive in what you do. So how do we avoid this? So what we need to do is we need to take a break. My friend, you need to take a break. So here's the thing. A lot of time, people associate taking breaks both with being lazy and with feeling guilty. So if you're taking a break, then I am so lazy. Look at that person taking a break. They are so lazy. I work from home, and if I'm sitting at my desk and my husband comes in and there is something totally non-work related and irrelevant going on my computer, or I'm on my iPad or something, he's like, what are you doing? I thought you were working. And it's like, but no judgment on this, right? This is really important. Taking a break does not mean you're lazy. Taking a break means that you value your productivity so much that you're letting your brain have a chance to have a rest and recharge, okay? The other thing is that people feel really guilty for taking a break. It's like, I don't know about taking that break. I'm supposed to be working, and they feel bad, and that guilt has to go. That guilt just has to go. There is nothing to feel guilty about. It does not mean you're not showing, as long as you're not abusing this, obviously, but that's not what I'm talking about here, right? I'm talking about the importance of taking that break so that you get your work done with a clearer mind. Okay, now even if you can take a 15-minute break during lunch, all right, don't go and take your lunch to your computer and keep plowing away at your computer. That's really bad. And don't even get me started on what that does to your digestion. With my health coach hat on, I can tell you, you are not going to digest your food well if you're going to be sitting in front of your computer eating it and working while you're eating, because it's going to cause a whole raft of other problems going on over there. But that's a topic for another day. Right now, we're talking about taking breaks. So even if you take a 15-minute break during lunch to try to recharge yourself, it is going to benefit you so strongly for the rest of the day. It'll make you more productive, and it means that when it's time to finish work, you're going to have some energy to enjoy your evening. How does that sound? Or would you like to work all day without any breaks, get home and feel totally drained? Yeah, not so much for me. Let's see, somebody else has joined us. Hi, Kim, welcome. So I'm just going to be checking my notes here for a moment. And I want to now talk to you about my 4 favorite kind of breaks. So, um, okay, so we've established that it's really important to take a break. We've talked about this and we said why it's important. We said you're not supposed to feel guilty about it because it's something that you're doing to work better. And it doesn't mean that you're lazy. Once again, you are improving your productivity. So, what's a break, right? What's a break? Does it mean scrolling through Facebook for 15 minutes? No, you already know the answer to this. Okay, tell me, give me some likes if you think that taking a break means getting sucked into social media world. Who does that? Who thinks, oh, I'm going to take a little bit of a break now and I'm just going to, see what's going on Facebook. I'm going to check out Insta. And then the next thing you know, you're not really taking a break, are you? No, you're down the rabbit hole of the social media world, and that's not taking a break. That is getting distracted, and getting distracted is another conversation we're going to have. I'm going to do another whole episode on removing distractions so that you can stay productive. But today we're talking about taking a break, and let me tell you, my friend, that I'm very sorry, but checking into social media is not really taking a break because you're not really relaxing your mind and giving yourself a chance to recharge. So, my 4 favorite types of breaks are about being mindful. Okay, they're about breathing techniques, they're about meditation, they're about switching your brain off and giving yourself a chance to get creative. Now, have you ever noticed that, sometimes you're in the shower and all of a sudden you get this unbelievable idea because you're kind of zoning out and you're not thinking about things, or you're lying in bed and you're just kind of drifting and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning and all of a sudden you've discovered the meaning of life? Well, the reason that happens is because you're not working so hard with your brain and you're giving it a chance to switch off, to come up with things and to be creative and to give yourself some space. And that's why the 4 things that I like to do to take a break are around the areas of turning my brain off. So the first one is progressive muscle relaxation. So that's just a fancy way of saying making all your muscles tight and then making them all loose again. So I'm sure that a bunch of you have done those relaxation techniques where you start off and you have to grip your shoulders really hard and then you let them go and you squinch up your face and then you let it go and you grip your hands and then you let it go. That's what I'm talking about. So you start at the top of your head, and a section at a time, you make it tight, and then you make it loose. And then you make it tight, and then you make it loose. And you go slowly through your body all the way through. And you sit there with your eyes closed, enjoying the feeling of your muscles being loose. And a great thing that this does, in addition to enabling you to relax your body, is it highlights to you the areas where you're stressed. So, for example, for me, I tend to hold a lot of my stress in my shoulders. Does anyone else do that? Tell me, where else do you guys hold your stress? I see we also have Elizabeth joined us. Welcome, Elizabeth. So I hold a lot of stress in my shoulders. And when I do this exercise, I can really feel my shoulders tightening up. But it's a really interesting thing for you to know where you're holding your stress. Are you holding it in your jaw? Are you holding it in your forehead? Are you holding it in your shoulders? Are you holding it in your back? What are the different areas? And then you're able to consciously think about that through the day. And, for me, I have to relax my shoulders. After working for an hour, I have to stop and, do a few stretching things and some things like this because I know that I'm holding it there. So that is break number 1. Now, number 2 is deep breathing. Now listen, there are so many different kinds of breathing techniques. Do you guys do any breathing techniques? Can I get some likes or some thumbs up from anyone who ever does any breathing to try to relax and relieve stress and to take a break? Anyone do that? Okay, so there are a lot of different breathing techniques, but the one I'm gonna suggest right now is really simple. Okay, so what it involves is breathing in through the nose, put your hand on your belly, And as you breathe in through the nose, you want to expand your belly. So you want to feel your hand moving with your belly and your chest doesn't move. Okay, so we're not breathing from the chest, we're breathing from the belly. So you're going to breathe out through your mouth. You're going to breathe in through your nose, moving your belly, and you're going to breathe out through your mouth, bringing your belly back in. So it's going to look like this. Now, what this does, I'm going to get a little technical here. What this does is it engages your parasympathetic nervous system. Now, what that means is that it counters your fight or flight reflex. So when we're stressed, we are in fight or flight mode, right? And we're like, because our bodies think that there is a bear chasing us. They don't know that we have a deadline. They don't know that there is traffic and we have to get somewhere on time. Our bodies do not know the modern equivalent of why we are stressed. There is a bear chasing us and our body's going, ugh. And when that happens, it engages our sympathetic nervous system. And there are all sorts of symptoms to this. Our hands get sweaty and we start breathing shallowly and heavily through our chest. You know what I'm talking about? Can I get a thumbs up or a like from anyone who knows what I'm talking about? Okay, so when we engage our parasympathetic nervous system and we don't breathe through our chest, but we take deep breaths through our belly, we are literally not able to feel that stressed because we can't have both systems working at the same time. So when we engage our parasympathetic nervous system with deep breathing that comes from our belly and not our chest, we literally take away our body's physical ability to feel stressed. So that is a great thing to do if you can sit there for 5 minutes and do some deep breathing. It is going to really energize you, reduce some stress, and get you back into the productivity mode. Okay, now number 3 is straight up mindfulness. Now I know people talk about mindfulness all the time. I just have to take a little sip of tea. That's right, I love New York. Shout out to my hometown. Okay, so, well, not anymore, because actually, here's a fun fact. I am this year crossing over for how long I have lived in the UK versus the US. So this year is 22 years that I've lived in the UK, which is how long I lived in the US growing up. And it is my crossover year. And next year, I will have actually lived in the UK the longest of anywhere, even longer than the US. So there you go. Fun fact, having nothing to do with mindfulness, getting back to mindfulness. Right, so this is about letting your mind go. So if you just pick an object that you see around you. So for example, if I look out the window right here, I look at a tree or a cloud, or you can look at your desk, you can look at a pen. If you look at your desk, here's a good example. I'm looking at my desk now, so I'm not looking at you. And you examine the grain in the wood and really look at it, or whatever it is you're looking at, like you've never seen it before. Take a moment to examine all its details and really let your mind go looking at it. And when this happens, your mind can start drifting off. And that's good. You want your mind to drift off, but bring your mind back to whatever it is you're focusing on. So you're looking at your desk and then your mind starts drifting off and other things start coming into your head. Go back to your desk. Keep focusing right back on your desk, and then your mind starts drifting off again and go back to your desk. Okay, so this is great. Once again, if you just spend a little time doing this and practicing mindfulness, it's going to improve your memory, increase your focus. There are so many benefits to this. I can do a whole other thing, and I will, on meditation in general and the benefits that it provides you. But it's also going to relieve your stress and get you back to getting productive. And now, number 4 is one of my faves, and this is guided meditation. Now, there are so many apps out on the market today that give you meditation. A lot of people like Headspace, a lot of people like Calm. There's this great one called Buddhify, which gives you this wheel, and there are all sorts of things like waking, walking, working, and you press on that and it gives you a bunch of short 3 to 7 minute meditations, 10-minute meditations on that topic. There's even one for when you're in the bath and you're focusing on the bubbles. Now, all you have to do is put on some headphones. We all have some headphones nowadays, or some earbuds, or even the wireless ones, whatever it is that you use, and listen to a guided meditation, and just, go somewhere. You can sit at your desk if you need to, or if you have the ability to go somewhere quiet and go and do that, then that's a great thing that you can do as well, and just listen to a meditation. Now, my very favorite app is called Insight Timer. See who's joined us now. Am I going to pronounce this correctly? Hawida. Hi, Hawida. I'm very sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly. I hope that I pronounce it correctly. Welcome. So Insight Timer is absolutely amazing, and I have to tell you that I actually start every day with Insight Timer. So I set my alarm 15 minutes early before I have to get the kids up and before I have to do everything, so I don't rush into the day like, we all have to get everything going, because I have 4 kids and I have to deal with all of that before I deal with my business and everything else. So it's balancing that life, the life of a entrepreneur who works from home. So I use Insight Timer for their guided meditations, but they have courses, they have just music, they have chants, they have, there's so many things that work for different people. But what I love from Insight Timer is that they have meditations by length and by purpose. So if you're looking for mindfulness, if you're looking for chakras, if you're looking for good morning revitalization, if you're looking for confidence, if you're looking for focus, if you're looking for abundance, if you're looking for setting an intention. Remember, I just spoke about setting an intention in the last Facebook Live I did a couple of lives back. So all of these different things, and you can find one for 5 minutes. And in fact, I'm going to attach in the notes on the bottom of this one of my favorite 5-minute meditations called Sky Meditation. And this is this great meditation. It's guided. You close your eyes and you imagine that you're looking at the sky with clouds going through, and your thoughts and your emotions are the clouds. And then here's the twist. I hope I'm not ruining it for you. Your perspective is not the clouds and your thoughts and emotions, but it's the sky, and you're totally still, watching all the clouds and thoughts go through and watching them go away, and you are still. This is great, and it's 5 minutes, and it resets me so thoroughly. I love this one, so I'm going to share that one with you. But check out one of these apps. There are so many. This Insight Timer is free, so anyone can log on to that one, and it's really great. Do any of you do guided meditations? Give me a thumbs up if anyone does any of these. You put on your headphones. Sometimes I take a walk and I listen to one of these. They have meditations for walking too. Does anybody here? Can I get a thumbs up from anyone who does any of these? Can I get a like? Okay, fantastic. Great. So those are my 4 favorite ones. But I have to tell you, if those don't appeal to you, there are other things that you can do. Okay, you can go for a walk. Going for a walk is such a great thing to do to clear your mind and regenerate yourself. So if you feel like you don't want to be sitting anymore, getting up and moving around is another great option. And, the old time favorite, you can take a nap. A 15-minute nap is absolutely amazing at revitalizing you, recharging you, and getting you back to productivity. So if you've taken your break and you are all ready to go and get back to work and get productive, then I have an amazing freebie for you, which I'm going to attach in the notes at the bottom of this live as well. And that is 6 steps to turbo boost your productivity. So you're ready to get back to your desk and you're ready to get back to work. This guide teaches you the 20% of things that you can do to generate 80% more results. So it's going to get you so productive, it's going to get you moving, and it's going to get you really, really achieving. So I'm going to include that here at the bottom. So I am now wondering if anybody has any questions that they would like to ask. Are there any questions from anyone? Okay. I have, for some reason, nothing is coming. The tech gremlins are at me again, people, because nothing is coming up over there. But I know on my phone I have a question here. Okay. Okay, that's odd. But anyway, here we go. So question. What's your go-to break that you use? Okay, so what's my favorite break that I like to use? Well, it depends how tired I am. If I'm really tired and I'm sitting at my desk and I start doing one of these and I'm concentrating and I'm like, then I know it's time to take a nap. Now, I have another app that I use for this called Pzizz. I'll attach a link to that as well. Pzizz or Pzizz. And you can set sleep on it or you could set nap. And I set it for 15 minutes and it plays these tunes. Then I just drift off and then it wakes me up softly and gently and I am ready to go. So I really like that. And the other one I do is a guided meditation. Just listen to something for 10 minutes, take a break. And another one that I really like is just getting up and walking around. I'll make myself a pot of tea, walk around the house because I work at home. So, get out of the environment that I'm in, move around. That's another really good one that I really enjoy. Okay, and I have a second question here. How do you find time to take a break when your day is nonstop? Suggestions. Okay, listen, I hear you. One of the things a few years ago, my New Year's resolution was to schedule luncheon because I used to pack my day so back to back and so busy that I realized that I was not even scheduling in lunch and I was grabbing things on the go because I didn't have time to eat. So my answer is that you have to put in buffer time. Okay, you have to put in time that in between things that you give yourself breathers. You just have to program it into your day. So scheduling things back to back is just a formula for disaster. It just is. And I know people who do it and they go back to back, one thing after another thing, and they're exhausted and they're burned out. And who wants to be that way? You don't have to be that way. And the way that you avoid it is by, as I say, putting time into your calendar, giving yourself space. So another thing, I block off times in my calendar and I take my clients through that in the organization pillar of the PowerSystem. Now, one of the things that I do is I give myself some leeway. So if I think, say, I'm going to be working on something and it's going to take me, say, 2 hours to get it done, I might block off 2.5 hours. Okay, so I have some time to take a break in the middle and refocus myself. So I can work straight for an hour, then I can take a 15-minute break. Then I can work for another hour, and then I can take another 15-minute break. Make sense? Okay, great. Well, thank you all so much for joining me for the live today. It was great seeing you, and I hope this was helpful. And I would love to hear what your favorite breaks are and what you do to take a break, and whether you feel guilty about doing it or if I have convinced you that breaks are the new busy. So give me a comment in the notes below. If you're watching it on the replay, then comment. I will absolutely be checking it and responding to all of you. And I can't wait to see you next week. Bye.